Welcome back to the Tractor Time with Tim Dream Shop Build. Lots of different things going on, and we're pretty overwhelmed. If you're just joining us, we're building a large shop and office addition to our home. It's Friday of week number 2, and we're getting our first glimpse of two different things here. One, the lighter colored clay is the name siding here that's going to be on the side for most of the building. We're also getting a view of how high the wainscoting is going to be. Now it's going to be that same dark color that we have on the roof of everything, right? The house as well as the shop. My nifty lift is still dead, and this would be a place where it would be wonderful. It could go right along, and David up there could be moving with it rather than have to move the ladder. But it's still amazing to me that two guys can put up those tall sheets.
We'd had these concrete forms nice and straight, and then I caught that big hunk of old concrete there with the tractor bucket, and it pushed them out of line.
Did it do anything? I think I may have moved it here. I'll come on down there then.
There, but not.
I thought maybe if we'd use this compactor that I got from TomahawkPower.com, might be able to push it away there just by compacting the soil in there, and it seems to be working, but it may not be enough yet.
Okay, hit it.
We decided to take some dirt from one side, relieving pressure, and add that dirt to the other side here where we're running the compactor. If you caught our last episode, we had some extra concrete from the crawl space area, the footers, and then the walls. We dug a large deep trench here to use as a bit of a footer for this big door that we're going to have. While they did have a lot of leftover concrete, and we got it probably a foot deep in there, we need at least another foot to get us up to the base of the new concrete.
Throws one of them 60-pound bags in there and splits the thing in half. Just, oh! It's a dribble.
What? You're probably going to have to turn the water up a little.
Yeah, I think I'd turn it up more than that. There you go.
Probably going to have to be more than that.
But you can run that thing backwards? I don't know.
It's getting some water down in there, but...
None of us have any experience with this thing, and the rental company said that it would be too wet when we first started. I guess I've overcompensated here because we've got nothing but dry mix coming out.
Need more water. There you go.
Okay, guys, need the rod or something to stir down there. I've got her turned on hard. Too much water. Oh.
Boy, that didn't take long to drain that thing out, did it?
I think that once we've learned how to use this, it's going to be fantastic.
I
think slight learning curve, and then I like the way you did that the first time.
Yeah, I think the first time worked better. See, that's just it. Now, I first heard about this mud mixer from Ed at My Cluttered Garage. I really like Ed. You should check out his channel. And I decided I had to try one for myself. So we just rented it. Nothing sponsored here, but I really wanted to try this and see for myself. Okay, yank the 2x6, Dave. Have to run it pretty stiff to get it to the top, won't we? Of course, if you push it too much, it's just going to go all the way, right?
Which is fine. I'm not hurt anything. Learning curve, like you said.
Now there's plenty of room for criticism of pretty much everything we're doing here. For example, I don't have any rebar running down into the footer that was poured a day or two before. And while our mix is inconsistent, we're getting better at it as we go along. The top of what we're pouring here is still 9 or 10 inches below the final concrete level. We're pouring this now because I couldn't afford to have that opening non-navigable for the entire time between now and when we actually pour the floor of the whole building. Meanwhile, here's a peek of that wainscoting. Looks good to me.
What happens is it gets dry and it bunches up in here. And once it bunches up, I've got way too much dry in there.
That was the trick. Watch in there a little bit closer and make sure you don't get a big pile of dry mix just past the water nozzles. After we figured that out, we ran a good while without having to make any adjustments at all.
I vote we don't put our initials in it when we're done.
As long as it's on top, see, and that way, that way nobody. Looking at that, there's a reason why I don't do concrete work. I don't mind tearing it out, but putting it in, I definitely don't
Yeah,
mind that.
I get it.
Look at that.
Yeah, Tim says he hates doing this, but I think he's pretty good at it.
I think they do. You know,
Floating
that
it is.
doesn't hurt my back near as bad.
I guess their compliments worked. I became the permanent float guy.
Oh, he's going with a knife approach.
Yeah. Well, every time I was slamming that down, I was kicking dust up everywhere.
Ah, you're kind of.
Trying to be.
Don't leave that one for a while.
Yeah, we can shove some wood in or shove some dirt in there.
Probably one more bag, won't it?
I was trying to determine that. I don't want a whole bag to dump somewhere.
So you'll have to let us know in the comments section. Will this keep the concrete under the door from heaving upward? Or is it an absolute waste of time, or even worse?
Nice. I'd say you're going to have just enough concrete, Dave. It's going to be really, really close.
Doing it for a couple of hours on the most beautiful day of the year. But on a hot day or a cold day. Okay.
Beautiful.
If we've got extra,
We have extra, just a little bit extra.
let's just shoot it right down in that hole there.
Okay. No, we did it about perfect.
So I estimated 32 and we used 34. That's because it's swelled out by 1/4 of an inch in a couple of places.
You think you run that to get that all out of there, or?
Well, we've got to run it and clean it and everything, but let's run it right back down here and clean out in that hole. Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You just turn the water up real good.
I don't know. I asked him and he really didn't give me any advice.
It hasn't been cleaned very much before, has it?
No, it is not.
Dave, you're standing in water, plugging in electrical cord.
I've only been shocked a couple times.
Ryan, I think you're going to learn your lesson. Ryan just dropped by haphazardly. He'll learn not to do that.
I don't know. Christy had meatloaf, mashed potatoes, sweet corn, and green beans all home cooked for lunch.
Now he says he's wanting to borrow a post auger. So I guess an hour's worth of concrete is worth about 3 or 4 post auger borrowings. We are very happy with the mud mixer. Again, thanks to Ed at My Clutter Garage for suggesting it. So yeah, this thing works great. We're in the cleanup process now.
Yeah, so is it.
I now see why the rocks were in it when we got it. They don't seem to want to come out, do they?
With enough water and that auger being on, we'll get them out of there.
Meanwhile, Chris is here.
Hey, conveniently.
Yeah, conveniently, Chris has got cameras here. He detects any time the work is done,
Yeah,
and he shows up.
smart man.
You're not born yesterday, huh?
No, but I
Ryan, on the other hand,
I was born the day before. Give me a little bit.
no, Chris is the official nifty lifty mechanic.
well, not really. I'm just guessing my way through. That's the best I can say.
It's really great to have good neighbors and good friends. We've been in quite a pinch throughout this project, more to do than we can possibly keep up with. Our neighbors continue to step up, and wow, we really appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim. How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity.